Today we're going to be talking about funeral planning, and specifically a few things that you can do to plan for a funeral and hopefully take some of the burden off of the people that love you and want to take care of you in the future. The first thing that you may want to think about doing is what's called a burial account. This is an account that can be set up at a bank, and it can be funded with up to $1,500. Each individual of a married couple can have one of these burial accounts. Again, you can put up to $1,500 into the account. It can grow over time, and one of the benefits of having this kind of a burial account is that it can be excluded from assets that are paid to a nursing home. So again, this is a burial account, can be funded up to $1,500, and it may be excluded from the assets included in nursing home protection. Another thing that you could potentially think about doing is what's called burial insurance. So this is a kind of a insurance policy, same as other insurance. You pay premiums on it. Typically, the payout on this kind of a policy would be $10,000 or $15,000, or it could be as high as $25,000. And this kind of a policy pays out specifically for burial expenses, funeral expenses. It names an individual as a beneficiary, but pays that money to the individual, and then that person can use the money to pay for burial, funeral, and all those sorts of expenses. Finally, one other thing that you could think about doing to plan for funeral or burial is to take an existing life insurance policy, if you have one already, and you can assign that policy to a funeral home. So in other words, if you have a term life insurance policy, and you want to make sure that the payout on that policy goes to a funeral home and takes care of your funeral expenses, you can make the beneficiary or assign the policy directly to the funeral home, and that money will go to pay for the funeral. Any excess would go to other expenses of the estate or could go to beneficiaries. So those are just a few things to think about in terms of funeral planning. One thing I wanted to point out is what we do at Lantz Law. We always have clients take one of these forms with them. And this talks about funeral and burial instructions. This is something that can be filled out by a client to list names of family members. It tells people what they would want to have happen in terms of burial or funeral, burial arrangements if they want to be cremated, which funeral home they may want to use to do all of this. Funeral arrangements, calling hours, services, whether they want flowers, any of those sorts of things. So again, this is a document that we provide to every one of our clients for them to fill out over time. So just a few ideas for you to take with you in terms of funeral planning, burial accounts, burial insurance, assigning life insurance to funeral homes, and then just sort of making your wishes known to your loved ones. So if you'd like to talk to us about any of this, you can give us a call at 508-998-8800, and you can also visit the website at lantzlawinc.com. Thank you.